Continuing coverage of Ball State football here on Ball State All Access and BallStateSports.com. It is the introductory press conference day for the newest head football coach, the 17th in Cardinals history, Mike New. He joins us now along with athletic director Mark Sandy. And Mark, we'll start with you. Mike, we'll get to you here in a little bit of a second, but this process for you, just 15 days, walk me through the whirlwind of what it was like to come to this decision.
Well, we certainly had lots of interest in the job, and I sort of had a short list. I was kind of caught off guard with the timing of Pete leaving, obviously just before the holidays. But after that, I started doing some research, and it didn't take long to narrow down to a couple people, and it was easy to see that Mike was the right choice.
How did you arrive at the Mike New decision, and how did he come across your plate?
Well, I'd heard about him a little bit before, and several people reached out and gave the recommendation for me that I should take a look. And then I was looking for someone possibly that had a quarterback background, could coach our freshman quarterback, and also someone who had maybe ties to the community, and it's always a plus if someone's an alum.
What else was important to you when you sat down and made your list? What were the things that you were looking for, macro level, micro level, everything that was important?
Well, usually what happens is I think ADs look for someone they feel like they can work with and someone the fans will be excited about. And I really liked what Mike said about how important his family is and how he looks to serve his team and work within the community and the university, and I thought that was a perfect fit for us.
You mentioned things that he said. Was there a moment in talking to him when you said, this is my guy?
Well, when he said he was the youngest of 8 children, I thought, well, that guy's got a battle, so he's it's a pretty good choice.
Well, Mark, congratulations on the process, and good decision.
Thank you.
Let's turn our attention now to Mike. First off, congratulations and welcome to Muncie.
Thank you. Great to be back here. I couldn't tell you how excited I am. My family, I'm excited for them to get to learn more about Ball State University, and we've kind of had a little bit of a tour around campus, and it's exciting. It's an exciting time for us as a family, and I can't wait to get started.
Why this job and why now for you?
I've always had a ton of pride, and always, if the Ball State opportunity presented itself, I was always going to take a hard look at it if obviously there was interest on the other end. So for me, when this opportunity presented itself, obviously I was with a great organization for 13 years. The Saints have been great to me. They've been great to my family. But it's one of those times in your life where, listen, I wanted to be a head coach, and what better place to be a head coach again than at your alma mater. Take a lot of pride in this place, and listen, there's some work ahead of us, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and we get a lot of work to do.
What's attractive about this job and this position and the university? Obviously, you're an alum, so it holds a special place in your heart. But from the professional standpoint and the coaching standpoint, what screamed, this is something I want?
Well, the relationships that you build while you're my time here at Ball State, those are some of the best relationships I've had throughout my life. Since I've gone on a windy path and worked my way south since my playing days, but you maintain those relationships. And when you talk to those people on a daily basis, weekly basis, yearly basis, those are some of the closest people and some of the people that have had a big influence on your life. So I knew if I had a special relationship with them, there's certainly a lot more left to be created here.
Let's talk about the path for you. It's a unique one because you don't see a lot of arena coaching experience on a lot of coaching resumes. Talk to me a little bit about the path that you took, how you got into that, and maybe how it uniquely qualifies you in a little bit of a different way.
Well, certainly when I finished my playing days here, I had the goal of trying to continue on and play, whether it was the NFL, CFL. I was willing to look at all options. Well, the option that presented itself was arena football. I played for 2 years, obviously didn't get as much playing time as I would like, but when I was in Nashville, I was fortunate to get a chance. We had a great team in 1997. Our offensive coordinator that year was a guy named Jay Gruden, who's doing pretty well for himself in the NFL. So when he left to become a head coach, our coach at that time asked me, do you have any interest in coaching? And I thought, wow, let me take a step back here, think about it. So really, that is how it all happened. And I coached in the Arena League for 9 years, 6 as a head coach, 3 as an offensive coordinator. And I tell you, college football now really reminds me of an 11-man version of arena football. It's fast-paced. I cut my teeth in that league. And what that league did for me was it helped me create that aggressive mindset. When you're a play caller, you expect to score points on every possession. So that's what college football is now. And it's exciting, it's fast-paced, but I was able to build a lot of great relationships along the way, and certainly led me to my time there in New Orleans with Mickey Loomis, with Tom Benson, Sean Payton, and I can't thank them enough because they've made a major impact on my life, and they took care of my family. It was such a great family atmosphere, and I want to continue that here back at Ball State. We got to have a family atmosphere here. It's got to be great. We got to look after each other.
How's everything else shaped you? You talked about all those other stops along the way. You have the arena background and the way the game is played, the offensive mindset that comes from that. You have some college experience, so you know how that dynamic all works. You've gotten to work with a guy like Sean Payton, who John Strollo, we were talking last year, said the guy's just a genius. And you've been a scout, so you've looked at things from that angle as well. How do all of those things shape a mind to get you kind of a unique perspective?
Well, I think two of the areas you just touched on right there, my evaluation background, scouting in the NFL for 3 years, that is a very detailed process where you leave no stone unturned. And I think that will filter down, and hopefully my plan is to spread that message to these coaches here on staff that we got to look at everything. We got to make sure not only is he capable of being a good football player, and can we develop him, can he potentially change and play a position on the other side of the ball and be an asset for us. He's got to be a guy that academically he's taking care of business, and that's not going to be something that's a concern when he gets into the building, because there's a lot of different avenues besides what you just see on the football field. That the evaluation background is going to be instrumental in building this thing and going forward and attracting players to this program that can make a difference.
Let's talk about the challenge that lies in front of you now with this particular team as well. I know as an alum you keep in touch with it and you always follow it a little bit, even though you've got your own football responsibilities. But what have you seen? What do you like? And a lot of people know there's a pretty good quarterback already here, and as one, that's got to excite you.
Well, it does excite me. Now, listen, I've watched the Ball State games when I get a chance from a distance, and I haven't had a chance to watch a lot. I've done a lot of phone watching to keep up with scores. So I've got to get to know these guys, and when they get back onto campus this week and I finally get back here and get going full speed ahead, there'll be a process, a transition here where I get to know them. But you mentioned the quarterback. He's a young quarterback that just finished his freshman season. I promise you I made all the mistakes he's made, so I'll be able to help him in that capacity. But I've always been a guy from a philosophy standpoint, you got to put your players in a position to do what they do best. Don't ask them to do more than they can do, and you got to let the system grow as they grow. So I'm excited to work with this young quarterback. I don't know where he's at in his career as far as learning, but it's going to be a great situation for me. I've heard nothing but positive things about him. I can't wait to watch film on him, evaluate him, and tweak the system to fit his skill set.
You mentioned system. What do you want to do, and where do you want to go?
Well, obviously it's going to be up-tempo. There's a lot of great things that we did in New Orleans with our 2-minute offense, with our no-huddle packages. Those are things that I'm going to bring to the table here. We'll reduce the terminology because it can get very lengthy in terms of play call. So we'll reduce the terminology. I'll spend some time with the staff here, find out what they were doing that they felt excited about, and we'll kind of bridge the gap, and we'll combine the two, and we'll have a system in place that, listen, we're going to grow as a quarterback grows, and we're going to put the guys around him in a position to do what they do best. We're going to have a lot of fun with it.
You mentioned staff as well. How quickly does that come to mind, and where do you want to go as far as that's concerned? You're not coming from a head coaching spot, so you don't necessarily have your own staff, but I'm sure you've got guys in mind, and then certainly evaluating what's here too.
Well, there's no question. I've got guys certainly in mind that I've had opportunity to coach with, cross paths with, and when you're in this business, you got to make sure guys have your back. You got to make sure your message is going to be the same. When you go out in the community and you sell Ball State University, we got to make sure we know each other inside out, and there's not really a long period of time to coach people up on that or to get that message across. So I'm sensitive to the guys that are on the staff here now. I'm going to take my time and evaluate those guys. I'm going to talk to them. Now, certainly there'll be some that will stay, and there'll be some that I'm going to bring some guys in from the outside. So I want to spend time with those guys because it's a tough situation for them and their families, and I am sensitive to that.
Last thing, we'll end on a non-football note. Just tell me about Mike New as a person. Away from football, what kind of guy are you? You've been in New Orleans for a while. Are you like a gumbo guy now? I mean, what's rubbed off on you, and what do you do away from the game?
Listen, my family's right over there, and I'm all about family. Whenever we get an opportunity to hang out together, to do something fun, whether it's silly or whether I just want to be with my family. I want to make sure that when I'm not around football, we're going to be together. We're going to have a good time. And we just like to hang out, have fun, and whether it's a movie, whether it's us hanging out on the back of the pool and swimming and having a good time. The pool part might not exist a whole lot here for a while, but just being around my family. I've come from a big family. I'm the youngest of 8, so family's everything I've known since I was a kid.
All right, Mike, we'll let you get back to him. Congratulations again. Enjoy the day.
Thank you.